cactus in my foot.
How did you get cactus in your foot?
Walking around barefoot last night.
And I have blisters. You feel good, man? How about you, Ick?
You're a happy dog this morning. Did you sleep good? You all recharged? So we're looking at the same information.
Day 4. My foot's been messed up for all day yesterday, and as soon as we left our last water cache the day before, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Ran into not really a hiker. He kind of drives around the CDT, and he gave me some pointers to stop every hour and elevate my foot, and then just take a buttload of ibuprofen at night. I'm definitely going to stop every hour. The ibuprofen makes me really nauseous, but he said to take it at night. So if I take it at night and I'm able to sleep through, so I'll give that a try. I'm going to try to do 17 miles today on this foot. We'll see how that goes.
And you can see it in my nostrils.
Yep.
So the pace is slow today. We're doing about 2 miles an hour. This is something that we both knew would happen, that I would want to go faster, and something, probably injuries or something with her body would cause us to slow down. But even so, I got a little bit frustrated yesterday with our slower pace. When I get frustrated, then she kind of takes it out on herself, and she gets really hard on herself because she feels bad that we're going slow. So it's just a spiral of kind of negative emotions causing feedback, I think. So today especially, I made a point to tell myself to just accept that we'd be going slower today, and that's okay. And so far that has kept our moods in a little bit higher spirits, I think. And she's pushing on. I know she's in pain, but she's still doing it. And she's tough.
Oh, that's as far.
First tree we've seen for miles. Next to the tree, water jugs.
No. No. They're all empty.
Oh no.
No. Oh. Bummer, dude.
But I think this is one of the good things about through hiking. The miles that we are required to hike every single day. It's not like a lot of backpacking trips where you can do 5 or 10 miles and call it good. We have to get in a certain number of miles every day because these sections are kind of long and we can only carry so much food. This first section from the terminus to Lordsburg is about 80 miles, and we've got about 5 days of food with us. Sometimes those miles can kind of feel like a prison where that's all you think about, and it's like the only point of being out here is to do miles. And that's when a through hike can get kind of grueling and really painful, and it kind of takes the fun out of it. But on the other hand, having this necessary mileage really pushes us past our limits, and if it wasn't absolutely necessary to get these miles in, we would stop. We wouldn't go as far every day. And we'd be more comfortable, but we wouldn't really find out what we're capable of. And I know that Amy's limits are being pushed right now. And because of that, she's going to get stronger, and she's going to realize how capable she is too. We see a tower looking thing in the distance. That could be a windmill, which could be our water source, guarded by the cows. Like, this is our water. Thanks for letting us have your water.
I made it.
Water!
Water. Yay.
There's even a note for us hikers.
It was wonderful. It was a relief. And then I found Smarties. Yeah, puppies are happy.
And there's shade.
Did you go swimming? Where did you go swimming?
What a difference that makes. This is kind of what through hiking is. It's long periods of low-grade suffering, punctuated by short periods of really intense joy. We got out there for over an hour, and now we're trying to do about 6 more miles. It's about 6 miles to the next water cache. It's about 10:30 and we've done 0 miles and a lot has happened already. The day started out with Amy realizing that we had 2 nights to go still instead of 1 night. I added up the miles wrong or something, and I think I told her the wrong number a couple days ago, that we only had 1 night to go when we actually had 2 nights. So that was a huge letdown for her, and kind of sent her into a really bad mood. And this one just sucked because it was my fault. With that realization also came the realization that we don't have enough food. The dogs are very low on food, and Amy and I are getting kind of low too. We were getting to the point where we were thinking that we're not going to make it to Lordsburg and that we might have to hitchhike into town. So as we're contemplating hitchhiking into Lordsburg, right then and there, another hiker showed up. His name is Pax. Eventually we admitted that we're running out of food and we're kind of struggling here, and that's when he said that he has a friend who's about 20 minutes behind him who has a whole bunch of extra food and he's looking to get rid of it. So that was a nice coincidence. His friend showed up and gave us like 3 or 4 meals and some extra food for the dogs too. Both of those guys were really nice and friendly, and we ended up sitting there and talking for over an hour, I think. We finally decided to hike out, and we made it across the highway, and then a car shows up. It's covered in psychedelic looking paintings, and it's driven by a guy named the Cheshire Cat. This is actually our 3rd day in a row seeing him.
dream love. Because without love in the dream, it will never come true. Those aren't my words.
We ran into a guy by the name of Cheshire Cat a few days ago. It was funny. He kind of was walking towards us and he's like, oh hey, Canada's this way, right? And we said, no, it's the other way. And so he just ran off. And then it's so funny that today we ran into him again.
Also, since he's traveling with his dog, he's got a whole bunch of dog food, and he loaded us up on dog food. So now we've got plenty of food, plenty of dog food, and we have enough to make it to Lordsburg. And then today, as we talked about the foot problem in more detail, he started getting into the connection between the mentality, what's going on in your mind, and how that manifests in your body. And that's basically what he said his Amy's foot pain is about. Is that her mind or her body is kind of making this thing up. Because all it is just tight muscles, we think. Really knotted up muscles in her foot. There's no real injury or anything like that. And he started talking about how the mind will kind of create these things in the body to get you off the trail and force you to take some rest. And once he started talking about that stuff, it really hit a nerve with Amy.
And it's just so crazy the things that he was saying, like that's exactly why I'm out here, like everything's about your mind. And that's creating my injury. Because my body's not used to this, my body wants to get off the trail. And he's just like, it's just exactly why I'm out here. Is to get my mind right, because I have so many bad toxic behaviors. And it just made me start crying instantly. And he started crying. And it was just perfect timing, and it's just so crazy, and it blew my mind. And he gave me the strength to keep going.
And just the timing of all of this is pretty unbelievable. We saw this guy 3 days in a row now, all coincidental timing, and today especially. If we would have left 5 minutes earlier, we never would have seen him. These kind of unbelievable coincidences and the way things line up at the perfect time, exactly when you need them, are called synchronicities. This is a term that was introduced to me by another thru hiker named Freebird. He's kind of a famous thru hiker, and he's done tens of thousands of miles. And he seems to have just unbelievable amount of these synchronicities in his life. I didn't really believe him until I was a part of one. But basically what he talks about is when you're kind of in touch with the universe, or when you're in touch with the natural order of things, things just tend to line up exactly how they need to. And I think that's exactly what happened this morning. This morning we hit a real low point. When Amy realized that we had 2 nights instead of 1 night, we were kind of nearing a breaking point with her. Her motivation to do the hike at all was kind of gone. And we really needed something to keep us going. And that's exactly what we got. There's a popular phrase that a lot of hikers say, that the trail provides. And if you've never experienced it, it kind of just feels like one of those stupid cliche things that people say because it sounds cool. But I don't know, these things seem to happen. And they happen exactly when you need them to. See you again.
Oh, there's one in between these toes.
How many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On one foot.
Just one blister for each toe. No gate on this one.
Good job. Good girl. Good job. Good job. Your first gate jump. What are you eating?
Cold oatmeal.
Why are you eating cold oatmeal?
Because we only have enough fuel to cook a little bit of dinner tonight. That's the kind of sign you want to see.
Yeah.
Way up there.
I'm on the CT
Oh.
in July. I can see it.
Alright, I guess you gotta get moving.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, you guys. That was one long thing. Gotten shot.
Get
I
these
think
miles
they were
in.
no, I think it was.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, really?
Compared to my other through hikes on the PNT and the Hayduke, the CDT is much more established and there's much more of a trail community out here. Even so, I wasn't expecting to find trail magic, at least not so soon. So that guy back there is sounds like a long-term trail angel for the CDT, and his name's Apple because he gives out apple pies. So he just sets up a stand in the desert and waits for hikers to walk by so he can give us refreshments and our apple pies. Pretty cool. So apparently we'll be looking at that pyramid peak all day today. That's pretty much our destination. And there should be a water cache around there. And then we'll camp, and then it's only 10 miles into Lordsburg tomorrow. Then we get to take a day off. We're gonna need it.
To the pyramid. My foot seems to be doing a little bit better today. That's good. We only did 13 miles last night. Decided to camp at a water cache. Ran into Cheshire Cat again this morning. I really like that guy. Gave us a banana. Gave us a little bit more words of encouragement and words of wisdom. And I'll be using that as a strategy today to get through today, because we're going to try to do 17 miles today to make up for yesterday.
The dogs seem to be holding up kind of surprisingly well for not really having any training beforehand. They're taking to trail life pretty well. Minnow's doing fine. Echo just this morning started showing a little bit of a limp. So we took all the weight out of her pack, so she's basically just carrying an empty pack today. Some of the days when we're in the intense sunlight and it's really hot, they struggle in that just a little bit, but they've had no problem keeping up at least. So as long as we take enough breaks and get them in the shade to cool down, they seem to be doing pretty well. Other than that, they're just eating and drinking a lot more than we had planned on. So it really helped that we were able to find some food for them, and we've just been having to carry extra water. So as we go, I think we'll kind of dial in their food and water needs a little bit better. Just going to take some trial and error. So other than the dogs barking at every stranger they see, they seem to be having a pretty good time. That's the one thing that we still have to work on with their training. It's just being a little bit more friendly to strangers. Not very much shade around here. These are the kinds of areas where you just hope you have enough water and just keep going. Gotta get through here. Getting closer. So close, but I don't think we're gonna make it to Pyramid Peak tonight. And the sun's going down, so I think we're looking for a place pretty soon. Hi, cows. We're on the final stretch before we get to town, and it's just a train of hikers. Another bubble has caught up to us. These are the people that started on Friday. We started on Wednesday night. At this point, we're so close to town that everybody is just on a march. Nobody wants to stop. Everybody just wants to get there. So we accepted a ride into town, and we skipped 7 miles of trail. At the monument, there's nothing, except there's a little dream catcher hanging there, and it just seemed kind of out of place. And then fast forward all the way to the end of this section, as we're getting a ride into Lordsburg, sitting in the back of Cheshire Cat's car. He has a little dream catcher hanging from his back window, and it's like the exact same size, and it almost looks the exact same as the dream catcher that we saw right at the beginning of our hike. So just another kind of strange connection that you can draw, and it felt kind of significant.